All right. Thanks, Satan. We've made it through yet another week. Yes. And it is finally time. Just a little bit of a break in her busy schedule. The great Raven Black is with us tonight. Finally. So we were able to get that worked out. It's good to have you on the show. So all you Raven Black fans out there, you need to share this anywhere and everywhere because it is about to go down. You will get a chance to chat with the Dark Queen herself and get those questions answered. So before, my demons, we get into this, we are going to take a quick commercial break to our wonderful sponsor over at Villain Arts Tattoos. Check that shit out. Yes, that's right. Villain Arts Tattoos is the biggest in the US and the world. More than just tattoos, it is one big, freaky, big family. And if it comes to your town, make sure you get there, get a quality tattoo, and catch the awesome shows. So that's right, everybody. This is not a test. Raven Black is actually here right now. How's it going, Raven?
It's going great. It's crazy. I'm a little cuckoo and crazy right now. I just got home and I'm ready to go again.
Yeah, it's like you don't get a second to rest, but you know, that's tour life. It's a lot different from, the humble beginnings that we start with till you get to this level, of success. And we're just so happy to have you here. And this is right before you're going on to the Black Hallows tour.
Yes.
For all of October. That's going to be exciting. Who all's going to be now? You guys are headlining this, right?
Correct. This is our Halloween headliner tour.
Nice. Probably the best tour to catch all year long, people.
Yeah. So if you like spooky and sinister, this is
hell it. Yeah. Just the way we like it.
Yep.
So who all is playing with you?
We have supporting us is Cultist Black, who is like on fire right now. And then we have Casket Robbery. So
yes.
Some more dark and heavy, sinister music. And then we have Dying Oath. And they're all the way from Virginia. And they are heavy, dark as well, female screaming. And nice. Then we also have a band coming from Canada, from Quebec City, Canada. They are French metalheads, and they are called Change My Brain with Cakes. So, I'm telling you,
absolutely love
it. They are very much of the dark metal family, Carnival family, just from their stage presence, music, costuming, makeup, like. You would just think they were my brothers from another mother, in the dark metal carnival world. So I'm so excited to have them here. It is their first time in the US. So
Oh wow.
they're like
How about
super
that?
excited. Yeah. They're gonna see what us metalheads are like here in the States.
Yep, we're
Especially on the
crazy
East
fun.
Coast and Midwest. This is Midwest and East Coast, so I think we'll represent America pretty well.
Absolutely. Man, yeah, I can remember during the COVID year, I was set to do some festivals up in Canada, and of course that got wiped out. So it's cool that you're able to pull them down here for this. I'm
Yeah,
sure they're going to absolutely love it. They were like on restriction in Canada for so long,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's great to see them with you.
Yep. I mean, it's been
Fantastic.
happening.
Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
No, I think yeah, it's been opening up more and more for everybody. So it's a good thing.
Yes. Most definitely. Now, you guys started in, is it 2011, if my memory serves me at all?
Technically, it's 2012. Um,
Okay.
it actually 2011, but it was like October. It was October 13th, believe it or not.
Oh, how awesome is that? Great time to start anything, if you ask me.
Right? Yeah, I never. It wasn't intentional, but like when I look back at it, I'm like, oh my god, we actually started it on October 13th. That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's definitely been like about 12, almost 13 years.
Yeah, but technically, I mean, we didn't go out and do anything really until like 2 years in, because all we did for the first 2 years of being a band was write. Like we
Mm,
rehearsed, wrote. We were writing in the studio, we were writing at home. We played some local shows, things like that. But as
yeah,
far as
like
like touring or anything, even releasing anything, we didn't release anything until 2013, 14. Yeah.
gotcha. Yeah. So what gave you the idea for, I mean, you guys have, great characters on stage. What gave you the idea to even want to do this in the first place?
It's been a lifetime thing for me, and I ended up kind of getting out of the business in my early 20s just because people weren't taking music, well, they weren't taking female artists seriously, and whether they do now, I don't know, but back then
Oh,
it was
they do,
it
because
was
let's face it, women are
yeah,
absolutely dominating,
correct, correct,
heavy music right now.
correct. So but back then it was just, there was just no opportunity for us. So we were more seen as sex objects and groupies and things like that. Nobody cared that I could
Or
sing.
Lita Ford.
Yeah, yeah, basically. So I kind of left that and kind of did my college and work and all that, so career stuff. And I just kind of said, like, I never actually did the creative thing that I wanted to do my entire life, because I succeeded in the corporate world. I succeeded in that lifestyle. But when I turned 40, I was like, what's the one thing I want to do in this lifetime that I haven't done yet for myself? It was like a bucket. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do what I want to do. And now I'm, in this stable, successful, financially stable place. I'm going to just go do it. And I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. So I kind of like just put together a band. I mean, I literally called some of my friends, and then I did a couple of auditions, and that's how I met my husband, Ryan Muppet. I met him at an audition while
My
I
bad.
created the band. Yeah. so it's like that, opening that door, or kicking that door open, um, changed my life, completely.
Sure, to go from the corporate world to this
Yeah.
business, holy shit balls.
Yeah, and if I could tell you more about my life now, behind the scenes, corporate life isn't far away. I mean, like it's like I had left music and the arts and went to straight corporate, and then I left
Mhm.
corporate and went straight to arts and music only, and it is now I'm doing both.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so that is the
We
new
definitely don't
evolution.
get rich off of this business.
No, no, but I never intended to. I never. It was more of my bucket list, my dream of doing something I love on an art
Nice.
level, creative level for myself, and in at the same time, I'd help other people. And get to like meet other people who love the same things I love. You know?
Oh, most definitely. And
Yeah.
there's no more passionate fans than metal fans. You know what I mean?
Correct. Correct.
It's like no other crowd you'll ever.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, I mean, there's diehards for probably like the pop stuff, but
Yeah.
the metal crowd is an experience.
Yes, it is. There's nothing like that. There isn't anything like it.
Right. And I mean, you even have something that's, called Ravens Rejects,
Yes.
which we got there at the bottom. If you haven't been to the website, please do ravensrejects.com. You got some definitely loyal diehard fans. As a matter of fact, one of my viewers, whose name is John, is the one who was really pushing for me to interview, which I was going to do anyway.
Yeah.
But
That
I was like
fault.
waiting
That was
until
my
spooky
fault.
season.
It was my fault. I completely forgot about our last interview because my schedule has been so absolutely nuts.
That's because you guys were about to leave and go do
And I'm
shows.
about to leave again. It's like I always tell people, but then people like you tried to get me to do an interview earlier before I was leaving, not last minute. But it's like so I come home, I need time to rest.
Big time,
and then I rest, and then now I need to hurry up to go get ready for the next thing. Like there is really no great time to do it. It's just a matter of, am I in a position where I don't forget? Like today, I'm not leaving till Tuesday. So and I have the weekend now. So I actually have a moment to kind of unwind. And of course, this weekend is going to be frantic. I'm picking up 3 people at the airport tomorrow. So that's already on my schedule with outside of doing stuff that I have to do. My house is full of about 30 boxes right now of merch.
Speaking of that fan, there he is. John Mertz, all hail the Dark Queen Raven.
Yay!
I told you I'd put it together for you, brother. I told you, and now you know. So now you got to literally tell everyone else to get their asses over here.
Yes, exactly. Go tell the rejects. I did add all of your posts so they are aware, at least the diehard ones that are on Facebook a lot more. They should be here.
Oh, they'll be here if they're not here already. And just for everyone out in the comment section, good evening to all you demons and rejects. Glad to have you here. Don't be afraid to ask questions as long as they are good questions. We will get those answered for you. Yeah, so that's kind of interesting because that resonates with me so much because I've always worked in music. I've always been in bands, trying to do that along with teaching music in the classroom. And I got to a point in my mid 40s where I was like, if I'm going to make a jump, if I'm going to try to make this my only thing that I'm doing, because I had just gotten into podcasting, which I love doing. And then, obviously trying to get into some indie horror movies and stuff like that and invest in the, the shop I got. So I was like, if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it.
You just have to do it. You have to at least try.
Yeah. I mean, nothing comes without hard work, and you guys have busted your asses. So my big question is, so what gave you the idea for the almost like I've heard you often described as carnival metal?
Correct. So I thought of the carnival thing because, well, Ryan and I both talked about it because it's like when you're a kid, what is it that you love? Where's a place you could go that everybody can go from all over the world? It doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, how fat you are, how tall you are, how skinny you are, how short you are, what culture you are, what skin color you are, whether you're, transgender or whether you're lesbian or you're gay. Like, what was the one place that everybody can go to that everyone felt accepted? And it was like the circus, the carnival, the amusement park. Like people somehow, not that I'm saying like racists didn't exist, but people were just not actively being racial. when they're at these events, and or just as judgmental. Everybody was there to have a good time. Everybody was there about the show, the acts, the cotton candy, the rides, like the games. It was just like you became a kid again. And I think adults still get that way when they go to a carnival, circus, or Disneyland or
Oh,
Magic.
sure. It's like you forget
So
about, the superfluity of life.
yeah, I mean it's true, and it's like, if like I'm a germaphobe, right? So, but if I go to rapid raging waters, I'm going down that water slide like a maniac.
Right.
I'm swimming around in piss water. Like it doesn't. I don't think about. I don't think
That
about
is
those.
so appropriate.
You know what I mean? But I mean, if you asked me to get into a tub after somebody got out of a tub, there's no hell way, no way. I had thought about, we were doing like rock music and we were writing, and of course I can sing rock music and all that stuff vocally. And we were trying to do that, and it just didn't. I still felt like I was shorting myself of like the emotion I wanted to carry over and express in my music. So I was like, well, you know what? Truly, the only way I can really express what's inside me is like metal music, dark music, you know, kind of leaning towards more deathcore, death metal, black metal, that, but
Sure.
with some singing
A
in
little
it.
bit more extreme.
Yeah, just a little, just darker. I wouldn't say extreme as in like power metal or anything, but
Oh, no.
and I love heavy music. I get excited over metalcore and hardcore. But I also came from a lot of different influences, but I also sing. So I like melody. I do like melody. I like harmonies. I like music. I like piano. I like instruments. So I was like,
Hmm.
nothing ever fits in any one situation. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to just kind of go in the direction and find my sound that's like, it's a mixture of a lot of things that I love. And somehow we're going to find a way for it to work. And it ended up being carnival metal because that was the best way I could describe it. How do you describe?
Yeah, I mean it's a staple.
Like even when you listen to South Park, the intro theme, it's this weird, all these weird fucking sounds and instruments, but we all
Gotta
fucking know.
love Primus.
So, but see, that's the thing about music. It's so open to interpretation. And so I was like, you know what? We're just going to throw all my favorite things in there. I love singing. I love classic rock. I love punk. I love ska. I love Broadway music. I love Disney music. I love movie soundtracks, horror movie soundtracks, and little instrumental, synth stuff. I love heavy
Hmm.
metal. I love opera. I love so much music that I was like, you know what? Fuck it. We're just going to do whatever I feel like doing, whatever is inspired by the sound that is coming out of the song. So if we
Absolutely.
write, yeah, so when we write, it's a matter of a mood thing. And all of a sudden, it
That's what
turns into
comes out.
something. Yeah. But then we have our little checklist. Like when I write, I have a little checklist. Right now we have 7 songs for the 5th album coming, and I'm going through my checklist again. And my guitarist that I'm writing with, because I'm collaborating with different people, they have to go through this checklist. They're like,
Hey,
what?
everyone's writing process is different. If it works,
Everybody's
go with
different.
it.
But this is Raven Black, and if you're gonna collab with me, it's got to have my like weird Raven Black magic on it. So it's
Exactly.
and yeah, and it's not necessarily sinister. It's not necessarily any one thing. It's what I feel from that guitar that you're playing or that piano piece. It's whatever mood or emotion that is inspired within me when I hear that sound, whatever it is, whether it's heavy, dark, sinister, creepy, fun, but that's how I do my magic when I write. It's all comes from inside. It's an emotional thing. So, it's hard to write with me, I think, when it gets to the end of it, because it's like, here's this great guitar riff, and now I'm either going to ruin it or I'm going to enhance it. I'm
Right.
going to do it, but I'm going to Ravenize it, is basically what happens. Now, you, as a guitarist or a musician, you may not like it or you may love it. And so it all depends, and I'm always open to like obviously writing with somebody, I enjoyed their feedback too. So they're like, well, I think you should do this. And I go, oh, let me try that. You know what I mean? Maybe I didn't think of that. Because as creators, when you're writing together, you really want everybody to bring their ideas to the table and like figure out
Oh yeah.
how that all meshes together, because that's what makes something unique, you know. And
Yeah, most
I'm
definitely.
all about the weirder or the more unique, or it doesn't matter as long as it's something you love and you can be proud of and you're having fun doing it. People are gonna love it, you know.
Oh, most def. And it's like with this kind of music, you can kind of let out some of those darker, emotional sides.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't necessarily mean that it's like darkness within yourself, but it could be inspired by a story or a film or something like that.
Uh,
So generally with your writing, is that kind of like where you get your inspiration from, that plus life? I mean, let's face it.
my life is definitely, but like I have written songs, like for instance, there's one song that I'm probably gonna rewrite and bring back to the table. And this was written before Raven Black. This was
Hmm.
like a long time ago. But it was just a friend of mine that was in a very abusive relationship, extremely physically, violently abusive relationship.
Oof.
And I wrote this for her. It inspired me after her telling me her story, that a lot of women go through this struggle. And I had experienced some physical abuse when I was younger, but not anymore. But I can remember being innocent and not knowing what to do and kind of feeling stuck in that world. So it in her story telling me about what she was going through inspired me to write a song for all women, including my past, about this abusive, relationship, and like how you stay in it, not because you want to, or not because you're dumb or you're naive or you don't, but the song is called Black and Blue.
Mm,
Like metaphorically, it could be physically you're black and blue because you're beat up violently, and
right.
also black and blue as in your emotional state of being sad and dark and kind of just in your, you're in your suffering. So but it's the chorus goes, um black and blue just for loving you.
Hmm.
That's the tagline. I'm black and blue just for loving you.
And I
So
think
it's like, yeah, so
I
it's a
think
it's a
that resonates to everyone, you know.
everybody. Yeah. I mean, and it doesn't even have to be in a romantic relationship. It could be a parent, a
Oh,
teacher, a
yes.
boss. Like a friend. I mean, there's so many abusive relationships, in any, but like it's just like because you love someone, you're just punished for it to
Right.
some degree. But, so it's just the lyrics kind of resonate to that experience, and what can you do? You know?
Exactly. Um, some of your biggest hits, Carnival, Twinkle Twinkle Little Scars, they seem to be like really big hits for you. And they're just so much fun. It's like you get all different kinds of metal. Like, I don't know. You got the carnival aspect with the riff, but you get a little bit of thrash with it. You got some double kick in there, which I love.
Yeah, me
Me
too.
being a drummer, so
Yes.
I definitely I dig what Muppets doing there. And then I actually sat and watched the video for 5 Feet Underground. That was just fucking badass. Just conceptually, I thought, even though it was more like on the, I'm a big cartoon fan, so I love that kind of imagery because it can be even creepier than if you
Mhm.
have live people in your video. So,
Correct, correct.
and you guys have a another comic coming out. What kind of
Yeah.
spawned that whole thing?
Well, we've always had the comic books. So the first issue was the beginning, and then the second issue. So the beginning, the first comic was all about introducing the characters, who she is, and their past. Like where did they come from? Where did these characters come from? And
Hmm.
what are they like? Where are they? What's this? Just the beginning, right? The second issue kind of took you into discovery mode, a little bit
Hmm.
deeper about Raven and what her journey was. And then she meets all these different characters, and I brought in a lot of the rejects as comic book characters. I wrote them into the story. But it's like kind of coincides with parallels with my life of meeting all
Mhm.
these different characters, different people in my life that I've come across over the years that have affected me or have helped me or have inspired me, or that I've, vice versa, I've helped them or inspired them. So I included that into the story, but it then just thickens the plot of the destination and the storyline still intact though. But it was
Mhm.
cool to bring extra characters to elaborate the story. So that happened, and then at the end, I left a cliffhanger where she lost her diary.
Mm.
And so so the whole second comic book was her escaping hell. They were trying to escape hell. She was figuring out how to escape hell. And her diary is what she writes in everything, right? So she ends up losing it or misplacing it. She loses it. So the very last page of the last comic book is her running back by herself to hell to go find her diary because they had just gotten out of there.
Mm.
And yeah, they had just escaped the demons and like got out of there to a beautiful white castle. Okay. So they got to this like refuge, this beautiful castle. Anyways, so she takes off. She takes off by herself to go find her diary. The last page is her running towards the gates of hell. Muppet is right behind her, like going like where are you going? So he's almost going to chase after her. And the other two characters are in the distance.
Ah.
So this third comic book
This is
is
epic.
the story. The story continues, and the whole journey that she's going through hell. All these different characters. She's opening and unlocking a lot of things because she gets stamped with a key on her hand, or on her palm,
Mhm.
and apparently it means something. It gives her some kind of power, and she's been trying to figure out what the hell the key means. So is everyone else in real life. Everybody wants to know what
Right.
these keys mean.
Shit, I
So,
want to know.
and the album, the key, if you read the inside of the cover of the album, it says the key that unlocks all doors. So there's your clue to that. So it's embedded. It's all been embedded. And so now the third
Yeah.
comic book issue is now the key meaning is going to be revealed. We're going to meet more characters, and we're going to see her journey back to hell. And
Mm.
if she finds
That'll
her
be
diary, who is she going to meet? What is going to come of that journey going back to hell by herself? When does Muppet find her? Right? Do they find each other? Do they get
Mhm.
back out? So those are all the questions for comic book number 3. And what happened to the two guys, Stitches and Doctor, that were stayed back at the hotel? I mean, at the castle. What happened to them? Are they gonna be in this next comic book? We don't know.
Yeah. You know,
So,
I mean,
so
art
yeah, there's a lot of
imitates life.
cliffhangers. But I did
Art
it on
imitates
purpose.
life, you know, and
You know,
I love the direction it's going.
yeah, I admire movie. I am a big fan of movies that give you cliffhangers or
Oh,
Easter
they're
eggs,
the best.
eggs, or things that like Saw. One of my favorite franchises, Saw, is like
Mm.
you're watching the third movie and you're like, oh my god, that's the connection done. Like
Yeah.
what? And I'm
Although
a
I'm not
big
sure how he
fan.
comes back in the new one.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like I'm a big fan of that. So like I tried to think ahead for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like think ahead for that. And it's hard to write like that, but
Oh, I'm
I
sure.
the best way I could describe that I do it is I put the concept, I put the notion out there
Mhm.
without significant detail so that I can elaborate and segue from that. So that is the key of how I write story writing is I will always try to give you a cliffhanger or eggs or set you up for and I did it with the albums, the same thing with the albums. If you listen to Seven Sins from front to back, it's a storyline lyrically, and it ends with 13, correct? And the next
Right.
album was the 13 album. And then it ends right, and then it segues into the key. So and the key is
Yeah, you just absolutely answered my question before I even asked it. I was
What
like,
is
did you have that concept going through all the records? So this is exciting, folks. So can they get the first 2 issues?
the second comic book just sold out on this last tour, so I
Oh
have to
boy.
yet again order more copies, but they weren't. It takes time to print them, obviously.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
I didn't have them. I didn't have enough time to reprint them to get them on time for this tour. So I will have them though, new comic 1, 2, 3 for the third release. So when I right now the third comic book is on pre-order, and I'm
Mm.
anticipating it being released hopefully right before Christmas or January. So it's all in the artist's hands at this point. So as quickly as the artist can, because I'm not drawing it this time.
Oh, you did the drawings previously. Holy shit.
Well, I did the sketch and storyboards, and a graphic artist finished them. So there was definitely his work in there. So I can't take full credit for that.
Gotcha.
But the new artist, he's completely doing full illustration on it. I'm still doing a storyboard because
Mhm.
I have to lay that out for him because and then he's
It makes life easier.
correct. So he gets the script is done. He's got the script. I have to do the storyboards when I get back from this tour, and then he'll have it from me by mid-November, and then hopefully he'll finish by the end of November, and then we can go to print, which it takes about 2 to 3. So sometimes it could take 4 to 5 weeks, but I sometimes will try to do a rush because it is Christmas time, so I kind of want to get people.
Oh yeah.
But all depends on when he finishes it. But the goal is to have it finished and ready to print by the November 30th. So cross our fingers. But again, I'm not the artist this time, so I have to, I have to give him time to do the art. So
Yeah.
I don't want to promise anything. But the pre-orders are on sale now. The first 100 copies are numbered and signed. And they're authenticated. So I do the holographic authentication stickers and stuff on them.
Nice.
People can get it graded. Well, comic book collectors, they like to get them graded. Sometimes they want the artist, I'll sign
This is true.
the information from the artist. That's the artist copy or whatever, so they can get it a special grading on it. So I do help with that kind of stuff if they are a collector. So comic book 3, when that's released, I will have 1 and 2 also available because they'll be here. The reprint.
Absolutely. And it's amazing that you guys do all of this independently. Or are you working with so there is no comic company. That just goes to show you folks out there in Black Flame Land, if you have an idea, you can manifest that shit. You just got to put your all into it, get the right people around you. And this is what happens.
Yep.
I've had a thought a few times, obviously with my character Reaper as well, more so for film, but at this point, from everything that you've been talking about, I'm like, shit, you could do movies yourself.
Well, in the world of AI right now, and I know there's people who love AI and there's people who hate AI, and I'm just
that's because they're afraid it's going to take over the world.
But you know what? When you have ever written a screenplay or a book or a comic book as a writer, as a story writer that I am, not just a lyric or poetry writer, but as a writer, I have several screenplays, and I will be doing horror movies when I retire from touring. So
see, I knew it.
Correct. So the thing is, this is my little tidbit into preparing myself for screenwriting.
I mean, that's a great way to go about it.
Correct. And I live in the world of horror films. I live in the world of horror music. I live in the world of horror metal, carnival metal. It's all encompassing. So why did I step out from the very beginning, this lore of the Raven Black world? It's because I knew that I started my band at age 40. And I'm probably not going to tour till I'm 80. So, I actually want to stay.
That's what I'm screaming about myself.
But you know what I mean? It's like I knew that this is what I'm doing, and that to continue to help people and to continue to do the things that I love to do at the different increments in my life, because I'm 53 now. I just turned 53. So I'm like,
Happy
okay,
birthday.
thank you. So, like, now it's like, okay, what's the next step? Like, okay, so I've got the comic, everybody's familiar with the music. And, do I want to quit writing and creating music when I'm older? No. But I may not be being the metal, I may not be Alice Cooper, you know what I mean? Like up there, at 60, my 60s and rocking it out
Why
and
would
going
you
on
want to
tour.
be?
Well, the thing is, DIY, it's a different world. You know what I mean? If
It
I
is.
was signed and had a record label paying millions of dollars for it and taking care of everything for me, maybe I could do that what Alice Cooper does. But he started in a different era. I don't have that luxury, and nor do I really want that, because
Yep.
again, I I would like to just sometimes stay home with my dogs. You know what I mean?
Well,
And just
sure.
like be cool and be chill. So
Just be
so the
yourself.
correct, like I don't want to be stuck having to tour for the rest of my life because a label owns me and says, well, we need to keep making money, so you need to keep going out there. You know what I mean? I want to be able to go, no, I'm like 57 now and I'm 60 now and I don't want to go on the road anymore. You know what I mean? And I'm
For
tired
sure.
of sleeping in an RV. So you know what? But I'm not going to quit music. So I'd like to write music for movies and soundtracks and internet, or write for other people, produce or manage bands, or I need to mature and evolve in my own creative career as well. So the thing that I could do that's all encompassing, that I don't have to give up anything other than touring, physically touring. And
Hmm.
and that's what a lot of bands do now. They're older, they do just festivals, or they do a big event tour, like 1 week, right? And then that's it.
Sure.
And that's going to happen to me. It's going to happen as I age. So I might as well get ready now
Oh,
for
definitely.
that time that comes. So when I already know the first movie that I release, that I've written and co-produced and co-directed with somebody, the rejects are going to lose their fucking minds. You know what I mean? Right?
Oh,
And guess
man.
what?
They will eat
Brian
that
and I
shit
still,
up like carnage candy.
yeah, and Raven Black's still going to get to write the music to that movie soundtrack.
Oh, I'm sure you'll have a cameo. Shit.
That well, or yeah, exactly. I'm not much of an actress, so I probably want an act. But again, I would be
It's
there to
not much
coach that
different
act.
than performing.
It's different. It's very different. Um, yeah. So, but I want to be the writer. And the thing is, like, our music's already in 2 movies, soon to be some more from the same director,
Nice.
and that director is amazing. So I'm like, I already have a few friends that are ready for my movie script. I'm just
Oh,
not ready.
cool.
Well, I'm not ready to turn that switch on yet.
Well, sure. I mean, you know, we're living so much younger, even though we're older, but we also know that,
It's age. I mean, my age is my age.
you know, knees start hurting, backs are getting thrown out, and you can only throw your legs around and arms around so much, or bang your head until suddenly your skull sticks like this or something. You know, that's it's like Corpse Grinder. I don't know how the fuck that guy is still windmilling at his age. But then again, he's got the neck that just can't break. It's like a monster.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where I prepare, myself for
Sure.
like a more relaxed, healthier lifestyle as I get
Hmm.
older. And again, even with the fan base, our fan base is, yes, we have very young fans, but
Hmm.
we also have very mature fans, and they're growing old with me. You're
Yep.
not gonna, some of the rejects that are out there moshing right now and headbanging and stuff aren't gonna be able to do that in a couple of years. So I don't expect them to, And so, but
Right.
they're gonna still want to rock out. They're still gonna want to rock out. So I'm gonna write music that they can still rock out to. You know what I
And
mean?
that you are. And to say that, Alice Cooper, he was in that, I guess you could call it the golden age, the 70s. Like that was just such a dynamic decade for so many different genres of
Yep.
music. What the hell was I going to say? Fuck, just lost it. You're kind of like doing the same thing today that he did in the 70s because you're trailblazing. There is no one out there doing what you do. And, when you started to get into more of like the, more and more women are able to scream, they learn how to scream, do a lot of those hardcore styles of singing. So how did you get into that part? Because your regular singing voice is fucking amazing. But at the same token, there's this huge monstrous growl that comes out of you. It's like, where the hell did it come from?
Well, see, so I don't consider myself a screaming vocalist. I think of myself as a singer. And I've always said that. That's not what I want to be known for. The screams and growls are just an amplification of the lyric and the story that I'm telling in that song. So like
it's an emotional thing.
It's an emotional thing, and it's the timbre and those sinister black metal growls and screams that I do, or the deep gutturals that I do when I'm talking about the demon, or like the risen from the ashes. Like that to me, saying risen from the ashes, singing it does not have the same angst as when I say risen from the ashes. You know what I mean? It's there's a character vocal that brings out those lyrics and amplifies that lyrics meaning. So that's why I growl and scream, not because I'm doing it to perform as a growler and screamer. I sing to perform. I'm always a singer first. But those growls and screams are there to deliver the emotional lyric in the story.
Oh, sure. Punches you right in the face.
And it's fun. It literally, it's fun. I mean, if you look back to Raven Black Project, my guitarist, Josh, was doing all the screams. He was doing all the screams. And even though I knew how, I just wasn't interested in doing it because it wasn't something that was my first choice, but I do enjoy doing it, and I didn't want to hurt my singing voice. That was the biggest thing back then. But what happened and how it happened is, we're in writing and we're in ears, and we were in the house and we're writing, and there were just parts that were rehearsing, and I just started to like mess around growling into the mic, and it was the other members in the band were like, is that you, Muppet? And they're like, dude, that sounds sick. And Muppet's like, I don't even have a mic near me. And he's like, well, that's Raven. Because he knows that I know how to growl. And they're like, that was you? And I was like, why? And I'm like, yeah. And I go, it's like, do you know how to do that? I'm like, he's like, well, what are you waiting for? Why don't you put that in the music? And I'm like, it's not, it's, like.
If it's not appropriate, you just don't do it.
The song doesn't call for it. I don't want to just scream everywhere. You know what I mean? Like it's gotta, I'm a songwriter, like I want the song to have meaning and a story and a beginning, middle, and end. I don't want to just stand there and just do gutturals the whole time and just show you how cool I am that I can, you know what I mean? Like, like that's not music.
For sure.
It can be. I'm not criticizing anybody that does just growls, but for me, it's like, I want you, my fan, my listeners, to take a journey on a song. I want to give you a whole song. I want you to feel the lyrics and that ride, through that whole storyline. And then when I go, I want you to be like you feel like I'm fucking pointing at you and I'm going, like I want you to feel that shit. So that's why I do that. And going, you does not do the same shit.
It just doesn't always.
But if I go, yo, the whole song, what story did I give you? Nothing.
Exactly.
You see, so that's why I only do it strategically when this song calls for it. An emotional outburst, an emotional,
And I learned, long ago as a drummer, multi-percussionist, that I can't scream. I can barely sing. I leave that to all the virtuosos. So it's like, I've even watched the process on YouTube. Yes. If you want to learn how to scream, people out there in Black Flame Land, you can go to YouTube and find a ton of vocal coaches that teach you how to do this without screwing your vocal cords.
Yeah.
I cannot do this. So I'm just
It's
always
all about-
fascinated by those that do.
It's all about technique and using your natural fry. Melissa Cross is one of the best, if she's not the best, screaming coach. And she'll tell you, don't do gutturals, use fry. So, it's because gutturals, you're basically slapping your chords together to do a bark. I mean, if you bark every day and your chords you're going to create calluses, and that's what happens. That's like what happened to Adam Shadows, and he lost his voice because as calluses grow, your chords can't line up and close all the way, and that's when you lose your voice.
Wow, that's crazy.
The anatomy of
that explains Phil Anselmo.
Yeah, but that's why they all went to Melissa and they all got fixed, and now they're still performing because, right. And I see it all the time with some of the newer screamers. It's like they're trying to do these really loud growls, and they're just like, rah, like rah. They're like just pushing it, and I'm like, and you wonder why you lose your voice, or if you ask, and I've studied with Melissa. Melissa's like, it's never loud, it's never pushed. It should have flavor and bends, just like singing. You need to be able to bend and curve and give it some flavor and sauce and beauty to that melody. But if you're just barking, then but I love metalcore, so I love parts like that too with the guttural. So, but there's still a way to do that with fry. There's still a way to do it the right technique. So, like you said, some of my growls sound really low, right? Right? Like, but that's fry. That's not guttural. And people go, I love your gutturals. I'm like, they're not gutturals. I just make them.
That's awesome to know.
I make them sound that way because I'm using my fry. And how do I get your fry to do it that low? Well, everybody has fry. Everybody has a natural fry. Right? It's when you go like, what's that? That's the fry. But what you have to do is you have to learn to bend that and hold and sustain that. You know what I mean? And it's sometimes I'll over adrenaline from performing and being in the moment. Sometimes my fries just comes out froggy as fuck because I'm having such a good time. Like I'm forgetting the technique that I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm just going, and it's just really clear because my voice is strong, right? But fry is the way to go. And she says, no, the volume is the sound guy and the speakers and your mic.
I've always thought so.
You need to control your vocal cords, just like singing. Do you sing shouting when you want a melody? No. It's very controlled, right? Because you got to control it, the melody. The same thing should be with screaming. So that's what she taught me anyway. She has a whole technique with a pencil. Like it's totally worth it if you want to seriously, do screams as a professional vocalist in a band or performing, and especially touring when you're doing it day in, day out. I highly recommend getting technique because you will lose your voice. And the thing is, that's not the big concern because we all have lost our voices at one point or another. But the big concern is the long-term damage, which is you won't be able to sing or scream or do any of that, barely even talk if you keep building those calluses on your cords.
Right, exactly. Now, and with your upcoming album, Raven's Diary, which is known as the White Album, you're not really going to be doing any of that stuff. Is that right? Just more singing?
Singing. Well, so Raven's Diary was always something that I, from the moment I started singing in a band and all that stuff, before the carnival and all this stuff. It was just like, because I'm a singer and
Sure.
I've been singing since I was, 5 years old. So I always thought, one day I'll do a full on, I know I'm starting a metal band. I love rock. I love all that stuff. And it's like, but one day I'm going to do like a beautiful ballady album that's just like really straight from the heart, soulful, but not now. But one day I'll know when the right time is.
Oh, sure.
So my dad passed away in November of 2021, and I was grieving and I was very depressed, and I said, it's time. It's
It's
time
when
for
the
me to
best
step
shit
up.
hits.
And I was so depressed, I was suicidal, and I was just I just sat there and wrote, and I ended up, so the thing that I haven't said out in the public about this is this album, I pretty much wrote it myself, and melodies and everything were a cappella or to a piano loop, like just chord loop, to a metronome, to a glockenspiel music box. I mean, I just kind of was just isolated in my room, depressed, crying, and without a band, without any. I just had what I had on my phone. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
And I just started singing and writing these lyrics and crying. Actually, some of the songs I cried through trying to do a melody. Like, it was so emotional, I couldn't sing. When you can't sing because you're crying.
Oh, yeah.
That happened.
We saw that with Jonathan Davis, actually,
Yeah.
on the first Korn record.
Yeah, because you get choked up, and it's so
Yeah.
personal
Like
to
you
you
get
that,
strangled.
yeah. So what happened? So that's what happened. That's what Raven's Diary is, and I'm very proud of it. It's extremely personal, and it's a tribute album to my dad, because my dad has always known me as a singer, has always loved my singing voice, and I was like, this is for you. Everything
That's
I felt,
awesome.
all the grief.
Yeah.
But of course, with anything I do, there's still a concept and lore. So it is basically my most depressed, soft side, vulnerable side. And then I eventually come to. And that will set us up for the fifth album.
It definitely feels like, just like you had to take that time. You're known for being strong and that one that's like up in the front, fucking making all the crowd go fucking nuts. And it's like, it's time to let out that other side. And then it's almost like a switch, just like any performer, I think really has.
Yeah.
Real quick, Rebecca Kelly Harnett says, I love my song so much, Raven Black.
Oh, thanks, Rebecca. Yeah. So I gave a teaser of it in the silence. I wrote that during COVID because I was, trying to survive during COVID with no work and pandemic and all that stuff.
Oh.
Financially, I ended up doing in your face chats and writing lyrics for $100. I would write original lyrics for the fans. I would write a song that they wanted me to write. Yeah. So, but no music.
I wish every band would
just lyrics, just no music, just lyrics. But it happened to be that some of the songs I wrote lyrically, I automatically just had a melody in my head because I'm a singer. So with her song, I had a melody, and I ended up recording the song and putting it on the album. And obviously, it was dedication for her. So
nice.
That's the very last song on the key, and I performed it only once live at the December 11th show, and that was for my dad. Yeah, because he had just passed away, and I had a show 1 week late after his funeral. So I sang that song on stage, and I barely could get through it, but it was so emotional. But this album is like every song's almost like that, except when you get towards the end, when obviously I come out of grieving, and I realize that in order to fully heal, I have to get through all the steps. And one of the big steps that I've never dealt with most of my life is anger. Because, So that just basically sets it up. The very last song on Raven's Diary is called Little Leaks of Anger. So that's basically the setup for the next album, which is our Black album. And we're already 7 songs into the Black album already. So,
yeah, I remember you telling me you were in the midst of, one day you're in the studio. you know, from this to this, and then you're moving on to the next thing. It's like, oh shit, I can't keep up with this.
Yeah. So we just finished tracking Raven's Diary last week. And then, of course, you know, on top of that, we have our day jobs. And so this week was all about ordering, designing, everything, preparing for a tour, which usually takes a month to 2 months to do. We did in 2 weeks. So, yeah. And that's partly, and that's with recording an album.
That's, you know, that's dedication. You can't get that out of, you know, bands that are on labels, let alone, you know, independent.
Correct.
Holy
I mean, I look at it like you only get what you put into it. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, yeah. Most definitely.
I don't want to quit music and I don't want to quit my day job. So, like, I have to do both. You know what I mean? I want to do both. It's not that I want to do both.
You got to fulfill the things that make you, you know, for a lack of a better term, make you whole. You know what I mean? And you know, for me being away from the stage for a year, almost a year and a half, it's like I got to go back.
Right?
I'm going crazy not doing it.
Speaking of what else I decided to put myself through this week. Oh, there goes the babies. There go the fur babies. Everybody knows the fur babies.
Right.
You guys, I forgot to have this the entire time. Do you see what I have, I'm not going to toot my own horn or anything. I'm only on day 3. But I have 3 days cigarette free.
Oh, well, congratulations.
And I'm not announcing anything. I'm not going to say I'm quitting. I'm just vaping. I'm not quitting smoking. That's just too much for me to say out loud. I'm just vaping. That's all I'm doing. And it's been 3 days that I've only vaped. So I'm not giving up anything. I'm just vaping. That's all. So as you know, this whole time we've been talking, I didn't have my vape and I was sitting here.
No, you didn't. That's true. Well, you know, everything is a step process in life, honestly. Correct. Nothing, and I have to say this to everybody out in Black Flame Land. You guys know that I'm a realist in a lot of ways. Everything in this world is not good for us. For some people, I'm not, you know, it's what we eat. It's, you know, nothing is totally foolproof. And to be honest, I don't think people would be happy if they didn't have their little things, you know, here and there that are like stress relievers, because honestly, the less stress you have, the longer you live.
Yeah. I mean, the bottom line, I look at it like what I've learned with my dad's passing, or what I have come to realize for myself, is like, at the end of the day, if I don't wake up tomorrow out of my sleep, you know, for any just fluke reason, all I know is that I can go into the afterlife knowing that I did everything from my heart. I gave a shit, and I only focused on the people who gave a shit about me. Right. And everyone else, trolls, negative naysayers, people who want to fucking hate, they don't have anything to do with me. So I don't give a fuck. Like, you don't like my music, then fuck off. Like, who the fuck are you? I don't even know who you are. You don't live in my world. It's like, I don't care what people who don't live in my world have anything to say to me that's negative. You know what I mean? Like,
because they're jealous that they're living a life of nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, that's your nothing, you know, like I've got my own kind of nothing. Everybody has some nothings and everybody has some things. And, you know, it just like, stay in your own lane. Stay in your own fucking lane. You know what I mean? Not
in this keyboard warrior world we live in.
But, you know, it's one of those.
Believe me.
Like, so the funny thing about your podcast, and I really do enjoy your podcast.
Well, thank you.
2024, I am considering taking a break. Obviously, we did 5 tours this year, so next year I'm gonna give my time. This is our 5th time going out this year, so I'm going to give myself a break from being on the road next year for a bit, at least till fall, winter. Like I'm gonna. I've
Sure.
already turned down
That's the
four
best time to
tours.
go, really.
I've already turned down 4 tours for spring, early summer. I was like, nope. I would like to stay home. And what I'm gonna do while I stay home is relax and write. And I want to do a podcast in the beginning of
Nice.
2024. And it's something that I'm writing now, kind of not a script, but an outline to the programming that I'm going to do. Okay. So I'm producing my own show. That's going to be
Nice.
a podcast. So I'm probably going to talk to you a little bit about it later.
It's a labor of love.
But it's basically, I'm going to do it once a week. Okay. And it's going to be scheduled. And I'm going to have different topics. And it's going to tangent into like TikTok and all these other wonderful things. But
Wow.
yeah,
all the things.
a very interactive TikTok. And this is why I have to set this all up, because it's got to all be integrated. So I'm working with some people in programming it all. So it's all seamless. So that's something that I'm launching in 2024 instead of touring, to be able to be connected with the Rejects and also continuing. So like, and I will probably be doing some live streaming vocals.
Nice.
Podcast.
Oh, they will love that.
Yeah. So, so that's all getting set up for 2024. But the one of the channels that I'm doing is called it's the Unmentionables.
Ah, okay.
So
I like that concept.
Yeah. So it's things that we all want to talk about or are curious about that no one ever wants to fucking talk about. So we're gonna fucking talk about it. And like I'm just gonna talk about like, okay, what's the next? And I want people to submit topics. So it's not just gonna be music. It's gonna be all kinds of life stuff. And my intention and hope is that people feel that they have a place to go and talk about anything.
Yeah.
And obviously there's going to be the big disclaimer. Like, if I don't like what you're talking about, you're going to be banned from my fucking podcast. It's my podcast.
Right.
There's going to be an eject button, basically. We're going to have an eject button. Okay.
Oh, people know I call, if I ever see anything like that in my comment sections, especially on the goddamn program, which is like a variety show that we do on the weekend, which I'll have news about that. So stay tuned.
Oh, that's cool. I want to see that. I definitely want to do that. But I am going to interview and have special guests on my show as well. But it's not going to be what your traditional, you think, like I'm not going to have other musicians or in the music. It's
right.
going to be.
You get enough of that.
Yeah. I'm going to leave that to you guys. I'm going to do my own little crazy thing the Unmentionables it's called Raven's Padded Room.
Nice.
So it's my padded room of crazy, crazy thoughts, crazy subjects. I'm going to do challenges. I'm going to have people challenge me to, I don't know, sing Star Spangled Banner or, just weird shit. Stick gummy worms up my nose. I don't know, like just fun.
Oh shit.
We're just going to have some fun. It's going to be fun, tasteful. No sexual favors or anything weird like that. Like I said, I'm going to have an eject button. Because there's somebody's going to go on my podcast and be like, show us your tits. And like,
oh.
Really, really don't. There's like 1,000 other channels. Can you eject?
Right. Don't come to mine, you fucker.
A big old button. I'm going to have like a big old fucking button.
Eject. Go to OF for that bullshit.
But I feel like... Because I'm at a point in my career where I have so many fans and so many people that I want to stay connected with on a more frequent basis.
Yeah.
And everybody has different schedules and adulting and different time zones. I want a place where people can come and connect with me any given day at any given hour. And my schedule is intact. So they can pick and choose when they can tune in. Does that make sense? And
for sure.
More consistent, because for me to like keep up with everybody on their own, it's too much for me. There's too many of them versus one of me. So now I'm going to create this platform where they have full access to me and watch, programming. And when they're, home from work at 3 in the morning and they have to stay up all night and they have something to watch that's entertaining as fuck, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it'll be cool, and I want it to be interactive, like my whole thing right now why I haven't launched it is the technology, obviously, but the other thing
Mm,
is I need
fine.
to be able to pull people into my conversations. So that's the
Right.
difference. Like, you're reading comments, right? And that's how I do it on Facebook. And but I actually want it to be interactive. I want to be able to say, let's take a caller right now and pull them into this podcast.
Oh yeah, that would be badass. I
And
wish
so
I had that kind of tech.
that's what I'm trying to figure out, because I want to be able to pull that person in and have a conversation with them within the conversation. So that this is why it hasn't been launched yet. But
TikTok is, from what I understand, is like the easiest place to just pull somebody literally
yeah,
right out of the air,
correct. And then
and pull
we
them
might even
into
do
it.
challenges together, like, okay, what are we going to do? Let's do this together, And I want to create like a thumbs up or a point system. So they get prizes from me or different things
Oh, nice. Oh
from
yeah, you can do that.
participation. So yeah, things like that. I guess in a way,
Awesome.
I guess I'm segueing into becoming not really a podcast, but it's just kind of like my own little show,
Just like
but
a multimedia world.
something like that.
Which is awesome because out of all the bands that I'm not saying I stalk, but I do go to different bands that either I've interviewed or I'm looking to interview somebody that somebody's recommended to me. And you are the most interactive one out of all of them. I'm like, how the fuck do you guys miss the boat on this? How do you think your career is going to go if you're not connected to fans that like you? You know what I mean? And one of the things you unveiled, if I can get my computer is being an absolute asshole, you have a new merch line, some new tasty things
Well,
coming up. Let's
I,
talk about that a little bit.
so that was me playing with my AI creator with my photograph. So
Which is
I'm learning.
awesome.
Behind the scenes, when I have no time to do anything, I am still always trying to learn something. So I'm learning from my illustrator and artist that is working on a comic book how to change up my photographs, because like for me it's like one of those things where I'm like, I'm not a model, I'm a musician, I'm an artist. I
Yeah.
really don't like taking pictures and modeling and doing all these photo shoots that a lot of the female artists do. That's just not my thing. I'm a tomboy. I like to be in a t-shirt, like
What the
I
hell's
don't.
wrong with that? Nothing.
But that's not like the best thing for modeling, you know what I mean? So like for me it's like, okay, well, but he said, well, but you can make your photographs interesting by using AI and adding some
Exactly.
artistic elements to it, and you're a script writer, so you need to learn how to do AI. And I was like, all right, show me one thing. So he shows me one thing, which is, okay, upload your photograph, like just a plain photograph of me, and I was like, okay, posed, okay. I took that, I uploaded into the AI creator, and then he tells me there's so many keywords in scripting it to tell it to do
Mm.
certain things to your picture. And so I'm learning more and more every day in little tidbits. So I was like, gothic demonic girl, pissed off, like I'm like typing all these different little trigger words for it to alter
Yeah.
my photograph. So that, and I said, well, I'm doing the red key, so I want like something like that kind of the evil me, like make me my eyebrows, like sinister eyebrows, and like I just like alter my photograph a little bit. And so that's what came out. And so of course me with my photo stuff, like I'm like, well, let me color it red,
Hmm.
because I want to talk about the red keys. Don't forget to get your red keys. So like even right now I'm using the red light because I want to remind everybody about the red keys on this tour. Because that's
Hmm.
it. I'm going to exhaust it, and then the keys are done. The legend is coming out in the comic book, so everyone's
Mm.
going to know what these keys mean.
It's gonna be so
And
badass.
I revealed, if you buy a pre-sale ticket before the tour starts, which is October 5th, is our first show. If you buy a show ticket online and you show up to the show with your online ticket, whether it's on your phone or whatever, you're gonna get a red key from my merch girl, Madeline.
That's
and
awesome.
that is redeemable for a Christmas gift this year. So there's 400 red keys. 400 people are going to receive an exclusive Red and Black gift this Christmas. And yeah, so if you miss out on it, you miss out on it. So that's why I've been doing this whole red theme thing. so that picture, I did the AI thing on my photograph, and then it made it cool, like more graphic, and it did this cool like texture and colorization. So I was like, ooh,
It
yeah,
really did.
that made my plain photograph so much cooler. And so I posted that to talk about the red keys, and then people were like, the rejects, a lot of them will say, that will look great on a t-shirt. Oh my God, I need that on a hoodie. Like, so I was like, all right, let me throw that on a hoodie right now for you guys. So that's what happened, is because
Oh, okay.
they
Well,
messaged
I'll tell
me.
you what, it's absolutely just a great piece of blasphemy. I love it, especially horns. Anything with horns, I love it.
Yes, yes. So it's like,
Everybody in the Black Flame universe right now is definitely saying that you have the best merch at all times.
oh, thank you guys.
John Saperstein says he's got a whole bin of shirts and hoodies from you,
Yes, he does. They collect it.
which is awesome.
And I haven't come out with some new stuff because I've been touring like crazy. So I haven't been able to do a
How do
lot
you
of
have the
content.
time? Exactly.
So I did this AI thing for the post, but so the whole thing, and the one thing I want to get across to everybody towards this whole end of the year and this last tour, and is I'm preparing everyone for the fifth album, Darkness Rise.
Mm-hmm.
So Darkness
It definitely
Rises,
feels that way.
yeah, that my hair's down now. You haven't seen the pigtails in a long time. I did the clown outfit for the Gathering and a couple of the shows on Little Miss Nasty because it was the sex metal circus. So I was like, okay, they want me to let me throw some circus carnival shit in here. But you notice that I've been steering away a little bit more from the colorful dresses, going into the black dresses. This particular tour, I am not going to be wearing a dress at all. There will be pants and sweaters, but in my own unique little twist of fashion that I do. But I am trying to get everyone to evolve with Raven Black because the fifth album is going to be extremely a very darker, heavier version of myself. Because it's
Oh,
my
I love where it's going.
yeah.
I
So
kind of
the
felt it
dress,
too.
when I'm talking about maiming hands and gouging eyes, I don't think the polka dot dress is gonna work for me. Not that it
No,
could,
you got to punch
because
this thing home.
I want to wear pants, crawl up into your face and sing to you the maiming hands expression. You know what I mean? And I need to be wearing pants for that. So, you know,
I feel
it,
that.
yeah. So it's and it's for this album. So it's not like
Hmm.
I'm never gonna wear a dress again. But I think as a
Right.
doll, the creepy doll character that I am, it's always been half and half duality. And I think a lot of people have seen a lot of the fun, sweet, playful doll. They have yet to see, they get bits and pieces of the sinister kind of, you know,
The
wretched,
darker you.
wicked side of me. And I think the fifth album, Darkness Rises, really needs to show that and amplify that. So yeah, I mean, one of the songs is "Fuck You."
We
This
always
one
need
of
one of
the
those
songs
songs.
is "Purge." Another song is "Unveiled." So like,
Gotcha.
there's a lot of there's yeah. So I think everyone's gonna really enjoy the next album. It's the calm before the storm, Raven Starry, Raven White, white and black, right?
Hmm.
Complete contrast, right? So I'm kind of going into an emotional dump with Raven White, and then we return with Raven Black with the Black album, and it's just completely polar opposite. So yeah, so that's
It's going
why
to be amazing. I love
yeah,
the imagery. It really brings this whole thing together.
it really does. It's important to me that people see the different sides of humanity, that
Sure. It's not
you
like
could
you're just
be
chiseled of stone, you know.
correct. Um, yeah. So like, Yeah. So I think about it sometimes, like when I'm performing Risen from the Ashes or My Demons, or um, and I'm in the cute dress. I cannot deliver those lyrics as impactfully. Is that a
Hmm.
word? With as much impact as if I was actually in a black long dress or black pants, and just kind of my hair down and just really in your face, like, so I can deliver that message. It's like,
Oh yeah.
so yeah, I really want people to feel that bone chilling lyric, that sound, that emotion, you know, that
Do
timbre.
you do you ever think you'll do a multi sort of set change kind of a show?
Um,
Or is it just like one tour, that's it, that's where it
so
stays?
so like right now, I have a seamstress, because a lot of my some of my dresses, a lot of my costumes are custom made. I have two custom made dress jackets that are being made for
Hmm.
2024 right now as we speak. They won't be done in time for this tour. But like
Mm.
again, I really wanted to wear pants and sweaters and do something different and not wear a dress on this tour, purposefully, with intention, so that people can be like, I miss her dresses and I miss her pigtails. It's like, no, but you're not gonna miss it when you get to feel what I'm about to do on stage with because it's like, do you feel
Right.
like jogging when you're wearing, leather? No. Do that you have different outfits and different comfort clothes to based on your mood, right? Well,
Right. Everybody
so
does.
yeah, everyone does. So like, I want to have that. Like, but of course, I will never disappear the crazy, weird, cute side of me. I mean, I've got my panda hat. I got my panda hat
That's so
ready
cool.
for, it's fuck off panda year. So I've got my panda hat. Am I wearing it the right way? Yep.
I think so.
Because I have bad hair days. I have dirty, bad hair days sometimes on tour. So I have this. I found a panda hat. So I was like, oh my God, I have this. Thank
I
you,
think
T.
that's fun though. It
Um,
fits the theme.
yeah, so the cute side of me and the fun side of me is always going to be intact. But when I perform a heavier, darker, sinister song, I want to be in full character. And the
Oh yeah.
panda is probably not going to work for that song. You know what I mean? So, but
Yeah.
at the same time, the dresses that are being made right now, I can't be sinister when I'm doing Twinkle. So I
Right.
have dresses where I'm just going to put it on like a jacket, button it right here,
There
and then
you go. That's the
dress back
connection.
on for that song only. You know, so that's kind of like where I'm headed for next year as far as stage is, where I'm going to match the mood of the music with based on what I am doing on stage.
Hell yeah. And just to reiterate, the upcoming two, oh, that's the wrong one. So sorry. My computer is being stupid. All right. The Black Hallows tour. And man, is that fucking completely stacked up. You have a shit ton of dates.
Yeah, we do.
Woo, no rest for the
I'm gonna
wicked
be
there.
exhausted, and I'm working my day job during those every day, except for
Holy
weekends.
shit. Hopefully it's computer based.
It is computer. It's remote. I've been doing it all year. I've been working remotely, so I have my two
Nice.
monitors and my setup in the back of the RV, and I work from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. every day during the weekdays. And I stop at 4, and I switch gears and go to do sound check at 5, and I play a show, and I go to bed, and I do the same shit every day. Yeah.
That is phenomenal.
So
But
so
if
put your mind to it. You could do anything that you want to do, and
so
don't
true.
base it on money, fame. Base it on your
Ego.
passion, the love, yeah, ego, any of that. Do it because you love to do it, and you'd be
Gotta have
surprised
a
what you can
passion.
accomplish. You'd be so surprised what you can accomplish. I mean, if you asked me last year if I could do my day job and tour at the same time, I would have told you, "Are you insane? That can't be done."
Right.
And I've done it all year, so yeah, I did
Mm.
it. I'm doing it. So it's just a matter of discipline, and I'm exhausted. Yes, I'm exhausted, but it's going to be great, and I can't wait to see everybody. So that's what drives me is I get to see people that I haven't seen in years. This is the first time we're coming to the East Coast this year, and everybody's like,
Right.
"Oh, every turn like you're not going to, oh, you're not going to the North Carolina, oh, you're not coming to Florida, oh, you're not going to PA, oh, you're not going to Ohio." It's like, guys, we're coming now. I told you, because United States is a big place. We got to just work each section now. You know what I mean? Like as a
Exactly.
DIY. No, and the thing is, when sometimes, like I told you, it's fuck off panda year. Sometimes when a person says some, eh, but this is all for the forthcoming album. Sometimes people just need to hear the truth, and it's
This
not
is
because
true.
I'm trying to be nasty, but it's like, why don't you do the entire United States and come all the way over here and all the way over there for this tour? It's the Halloween tour. We want to see you. I said, well, why don't you help me raise about $80,000 and I'll do it.
People have to get paid. It's not like you just get your, 4 or 5 members of the band hop in a van and you're all on the same vehicle with, all the equipment and just doing
I
it
mean,
yourself. That was
I
the
am paying
90s.
I am paying $6,000 for this used RV,
Holy crap balls.
okay, to rent it for this tour. I have not sold $6,000 in merch yet this month. So
Right.
that is out of pocket. My day job does not pay enough to cover that. Okay. Plus, I have, rent like everyone else, rent and cell phone bill and electricity bill, and summer rates on electricity bills suck. And I'm like
Right.
everyone else. I
Sure
have all those
does.
bills from my paycheck, but then I have to come up with this money for this RV. And the
Hmm.
U-Haul is $1,200. So what do? I go online and I say, you guys, I'm going to e-raffle my dress, and I'm going to do some mystery bags, and I'm going to cut my noose up, and I'm going to give you guys a piece of this world that you want to be a part of and collect. And you in turn will help me make this tour happen. I'm just really
See?
transparent about it. There's no need for me to like pretend anything. It is what it is. And it's like, so when
Sure.
people say things like, oh, when are you ever going to come here? And it's like, I will come there when you help me pay for it.
I mean,
Right.
there's nothing wrong with being that completely fucking honest and upfront because I've said it on so many of my different shows. Guys, bands are not made of money. They're just not. The golden age of the 80s when metal ruled the airwaves and $1 million contracts were just like that. We don't live in that
Do you
anymore. I mean,
understand record labels will offer a band like myself who's already branded, who's already out there doing the work, who
mhm,
already has a built fan base, who is already DIY? I'm a working machine, right? They
mhm.
will offer us 50 grand to 100 grand. That will be wasted in about 3 or 4 months, and they will own me. And then I am fucked. And all I
Yep.
have to do now is go on tour and make music and sell merch to pay that fucking debt off. And I'm not willing to do that. And that is the
It's
reality.
selling your soul. It really is.
You know why? Because right now, when you buy an e-raffle ticket and you buy it for $5, Shopify takes their little 17%, and I get $3.89. But when 100 of you do that, I have $389 to pour gas to get to the first show. And that is the fucking true math. And
Yep.
I don't lie about it. I don't fucking sugarcoat it. I need to raise money to get gas to get to that first show. And that first show I get paid to play the show, and I have to pay the other bands. So I get a piece of that. But I wanted to bring out killer fucking bands with me, and they need to pour gas, and they need to fucking sell merch, and they need to make some money to eat and survive
Yep.
just like me. So I'm willing to share that fucking pot so we can have a fucking killer show for you guys. So what we need from you is to support the tour package and buy merch, because even at the point of sharing a paycheck with them from a venue, you know,
Mhm.
we're all still going to be short of cash for gas and fucking, so we have to sell merch. So this is the reality of DIY bands. And
It
the thing
is.
is that the only way we can tour, and they're like, people was, please tour, please tour. We want to. We just can't
Sure.
afford it.
If you want
We
to make
can't
a
fucking afford it.
donation to,
I literally, I look back at, I was looking back because I do my like spreadsheet to know like how much money I need for gas.
sure.
And I got like $5 a gallon and the tank is this. And we do an average of this many miles. So I need like $800 to get to El Paso in this first stretch before I make
Whew,
one penny, on top of the U-Haul
indeed.
and the RV and paying for the merch to be printed. You know what I mean? Like that. So
That's not
just now,
cheap either.
I just got home from spending 25 grand on the last tour.
Wow.
Okay. And now I got home, worked, and paid off whatever I need to pay off. And now I have to raise funds to do yet another tour, but a longer one, a month-long one. So it's not going to be 25 grand. It's going to be 37 grand
Right.
to be doing this tour. And I haven't sold anything yet. This is why I hustled the mystery bags. And this is why Casket Robbery's out there putting t-shirts up, and Dying Oath is doing this. Every single one of us, Cold Spot, what do you want on tour? Because we all need you guys to buy merch to go on this tour together.
That's
We
right.
want to do it. And so that's, and I respect all of the bands that are going out with me because we're all pitching in together to give people an amazing tour with some new music. Because at the end of the day, yes, I love all the big bands too. I want to go to
Mhm.
their shows. I want to go to all the festivals. But at the end of the day, people aren't realizing that you're spending $100, $60, $80 to go see these shows, these big bands.
Right.
They don't get the money. It goes to the fucking label because they're in debt
Yep.
for doing killer albums and killer music videos and
And
having
they're
cool
all
stuff.
still working square jobs too.
Correct.
Don't
And
think for 1 second they're
they're in
not.
a bus because they have 18 people and a huge crew and all that stuff. So their expenses are higher than mine. Us
Mhm.
DIYs do it in an RV or a van or whatever, in a U-Haul. We're not glamorous, but we're still going to get to a show and make this happen because we love to play music. But when you're going and watching these big bands that you've seen 12 times playing the same music, and you're spending $100, another $100 on drinks, and fucking $20 on parking, and you're paying $500, $400 for a VIP and getting the same experience, maybe don't go to one of those shows and go to a DIY show. Spend $15 on a fucking ticket. Spend fucking $50 on merch. Listen to some goddamn new fucking music that's fresh and unique, from people who give a shit about your opinion, and that they give a shit about and appreciate you as a fan and being at the show and buying merch and will work their asses off to fucking write more music that you'll enjoy.
Exactly.
Like help.
That's Metallica's like my biggest. Everybody at the underground knows that I can't stand fucking Metallica past the fourth record. You guys are literally spending $1,000 to go see them. That's ticket. That's any extras, like you said, Raven. Any of those VIP packages. Not to mention the merch is ridiculously priced. To hear the same shit you've been hearing for basically 30 to 40 years, and it's not even that great. There is other music out there.
I'd rather them seek out a bigger band that's at least coming out with new music that's fresh, like a Static X. Static X has been coming out with new fucking killer albums. Yeah, they're bigger. Yeah, they're not on a label now. I don't think they dropped their label, but
That's
they're
probably
now.
the best thing they could do.
Yeah, and now they're able to do what they want to do. But yeah, they're bigger than we are. But they're still DIY on a different level. But they at least, when you go to their show, their tickets are 30, 25, 30, 40 bucks, still reasonable. Their shirts and shit are still 40, 50, 60 bucks. Maybe a very nice jacket is 80. They're fucking selling guitars. They're hustling too on a higher level than I am, and a lot of DIYs, but at least they're fucking working and earning it and giving you something of value, which is not the same shit, but they will play their fucking all-time hits, Push It, fucking all the fucking great songs that we love of
Oh,
Static
yeah.
X, but Static X does give a shit and will still come out and fucking meet you. Their meet and greets aren't too crazy. And I mean, even if you look at the package, their $400 package or their high price VIP, you get a lot of fucking shit with that, man. So they're
Right.
just covering their fucking costs. There's a difference. There is a difference between that $400 package and a fucking $400 package from Metallica. But that's the bottom line. It's like DIYs don't
John
have
Saperstein said it's
front money.
$5,000 for a VIP with Metallica.
Yeah.
You just
exactly.
bought James Hetfield another classic car. Lars
And us
Ulrich added
DIYs,
another pool to his mansion.
we're not going to be able to create any more music because we just can't afford to.
Right.
Luckily it's the digital age and we're able to fucking produce and record and do shit at home. Like there's a lot
Thanks Satan
of
for that.
and but that's the thing is like I just try to like put it out there to people and that's why like with this I was like this year I'm not going to do any big tours. I'm not going to do any buy-ons. I'm probably one of the few bands that is comfortable with talking about buy-ons. I know the world hates fucking talking about buy-ons. But I keep it real. I fucking keep it real. Look, a buy-on for a big band for us, for Raven Black to go on tour with a big band and be in front of fucking 5,000 people, it costs us 20 to 30 grand to go out with them.
That's facts, people.
Yeah. So I have my agents are trying to find me that next big buy-on, okay? Because I do want to grow and have more fans. But it's got to be a worthy band.
It really is.
I'm getting offers from bands that I don't really care to tour with. They just want my fucking money. But it's not even my money. See, what they don't realize is that it's not my money, it's my fans' money. And my fans won't like you. So I'm not going out on tour with you.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Fans are not stupid.
I want diehard fans that love what we do, that want to be a part of something special. That's why I only go out with certain bands like Cradle, like Static, like fucking Psychostick, because the rejects will enjoy those bands.
Fuck yeah.
They
awesome
give something of value. I want my money that comes from my fans buying my merch to go to bands that actually deserve it and fucking I support. You know what I mean? Because they actually give a shit about their fans.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah. So right now I've turned down four tours, 2 buy-ons that I'm like, no, you just want my fucking money. I'm not interested in touring with you. And I don't know if it even fucking matters to people because they don't give a shit about small bands. I'm not making a dent in anybody. They're just like, oh, they passed. Okay, yeah, they passed. But I'm saving my money every single time so I can get on a buy-on that actually matters. For me, for the rejects, for everybody in our DIY scene. Because let me tell you, if I'm ahead here and I'm able to raise enough money to do a buy-on, I'm going to go make all those fans and it's going to come right back to the DIY scene. You know what I mean? It's my way of going in there and swooping some new fans to bring it back home to the DIY scene. Like that's my intention. You know what I mean? But it's like, it has to be a band that matches that I want to earn. That is so important. Yeah. I want to earn their fans because their fans are going to be great fans of Raven Black as well.
Absolutely.
Like Static X fans that I made on the Static X tours that I did, those fans are now rejects and they're great fans. Cradle of Filth fucking fans that we made on that tour, they're fucking rejects now and they're fucking great fans. That's Psychostick, same thing. Every single time, it's like I strategically choose my buy-ons. I don't just go just because. You know what I mean?
And you have your fans in mind at that same token. That's something a lot of bands won't do. They're just like, oh, this is just going to further our career. That's all we care about. No, you want to make sure that, the bands that you are buying onto, your fans will appreciate as well, and so will theirs. So, and that's how it should be. One big happy metal October.
Cultist Black, Casket Robbery, Dying Changed by Brave Cakes. This is going to be a fucking great show. It's going to be a fun tour. you know, we're all gonna fucking possibly break even or fucking be in the red. But you know what? We're gonna have a fucking lasting lifetime memory doing it together. And it's gonna be amazing.
Exactly.
And the fans are gonna have a blast at the show.
And that's what it's all about. Well, I got to say, thank you so, so much for taking the time out of this busy, crazy world that y'all live in to sit down with us tonight. And thank you to all of the Black Flame Universe rejects that have shown up. You guys were absolutely amazing. Spread the dark word that the Black Hollows tour is coming, and check those dates if they're coming into your town. Get the fuck there.
Get the fuck
Stop
there.
worrying about any of these big acts that are just lame as fuck anyway. There's nothing like a true experience, and that's what you get with Raven Black. So as you guys are, you've now kicked off your weekend with the big bad devil daddy himself and Raven Black. And, you got visions of carnival music in your head to the point of wanting to, I don't know, scratch somebody's eyes out. Just remember to always stay heavy.